What is up, everybody? This is the Daily Drive, and I'm Mike Breaux, and together we are looking at 5 easy ways to wreck your life. We're diving into a journal written by a powerful, wealthy king named Solomon. It's called the Book of Ecclesiastes. It is contained in the Old Testament of the Bible, and we gave some context and background yesterday, so if you missed some of that, you might want to go back and catch it. But today we're going to look at Solomon's first insight on how to wreck your life. He says, so you want to wreck your life. Here's how you do it. Let pleasure drive you. Let pleasure drive you. Ecclesiastes chapter 2, he says, I said to myself, come on, let's try pleasure. Let's just look for the quote-unquote good things in life. He says, I'm just going to let the pursuit of pleasure drive my life. I'm going to let my impulses, my self-centered desires, I'm going to let my appetites just guide my every step. I may have given you these insights about appetites that I got from Andy Stanley years ago. But here are a few truths about our appetites. Number one is this: appetites were created by God and distorted by sin. Appetites were created by God, but distorted by sin. We were all made in the image of God, and He wired us up with healthy desires. The desire to be loved is a good thing. The desire to achieve is a good thing. Sexual desire is a good thing. To create is a good thing. To compete and win is a good thing. To want more responsibility is a good thing. God created our appetites. But sin distorted them. When we walk with God and we do life His way, all of those desires can be expressed in a very healthy way. But when we take life into our own hands and live like there is no God, then those desires become totally self-centered and almost become insatiable, which is the second thing about appetites. Appetites will never fully and finally be satisfied. Appetites will never be fully and finally satisfied, no matter how much you achieve, how much you accumulate, how much praise you receive. You always want what? Yeah, more. You get an award, you want more. You get a raise at work, you want more. And pretty soon you want just more everything. I thought about this the other night while eating at a great new restaurant. I just polished off like my enormous burger and then half a Debbie's meal. And I said, man, that was so good. I am so stuffed. You know what? I may never eat again. Y'all ever say that? And then the server comes by with that dessert tray and says, hey, can I interest anybody in some dessert? And I'm thinking, let me see that. Perhaps I could manage a little more. We always think there's room for just a little more. And we live as if there is something out there that will finally make us go, oh, no, that's it, that's enough. That finally will satisfy my appetite. But gang, it does not exist. There's only one word in the vocabulary of our appetites, and that word is more. And have you also noticed that appetites always scream right now, never later? Your appetites and mine scream right now. Come on, man, you got to move on this now. You got to grab this now, feel this now, taste this now, drink this now, watch this now. You got to chase this now, experience this now. And our reaction to that voice will determine the direction of our life, which leads me to a fourth personal observation. Instant gratification is a terrible life coach. You've heard that term, right? Life coach. There are people who make it their career to coach people through life. It's kind of cool that God wires some of us up to come alongside other people and help them navigate through, like major career decisions and financial stuff and family stuff, to mentor and to give some wise and godly wisdom for the journey. Now, if you are in the process of looking for a mentor, or you're considering maybe hiring a life coach, Solomon would say this. Let me give you a heads up. When instant gratification applies for the job, don't bring it in for a second interview. It has a terrible resume. It's ruined more lives, led more people astray than any other thing that I know. I mean, more families have been wrecked because somebody could not control their appetite for more. They let their thirst for instant gratification lead their life. So Solomon says, I said to myself, come on, let's try pleasure. Let's look for the good things in life. But I found that this too was habel, meaningless, quickly vanishing, will not sustain any joy, purpose, or meaning. So Solomon goes on. He says, so I said, laughter. Oh, that's silly. What good does it do to seek pleasure? Now, I love to laugh. I love to joke. I love to play practical jokes with other people. I love listening to comedians. I like funny movies. I'll be reading a book and just laugh out loud and then look around and see if anybody heard me laughing, right? I love to laugh. But you know as well as I do that sometimes laughter has a way of masking, doesn't it? Sometimes the life of the party type of person is in reality attention-starved and very lonely in the depths of their soul. I heard about a young guy who went to a counselor about some depression issues. At the end of the session, the doctor said, "Hey, man, I got 2 tickets to this comedy club. A friend told me about this comedian who's in town who's just hilarious. Why don't you go with me tonight? I think it'd be good for you to laugh." There was a long pause, and the young guy said, "I am that comedian." So Solomon writes, "I tried surface laughter, but it was all just an act." Verse 3, after much thought, I decided to cheer myself with wine. And while still seeking wisdom, I clutched at foolishness. In this way, I tried to experience the only happiness most people find during their brief life in this world. I mean, Solomon was a party animal. And with his cash, he could throw huge parties. He'd send out invitations, "Come on up to the palace. We got Monday Night Football on 10 different 4K LED 100-inch flat screens. We cooked a pig in the ground. We got some beer on ice. All my rowdy friends are coming over tonight." That was Solomon's invitations. And way too many of us could have written the words that he wrote. We tried to escape. We tied up our boat in a party cove, and we lifted our red Solo cup, and we tried to fill up that hole in our heart with the crazy party life. And we found out, man, it's a square peg in a round hole. And maybe if you were really honest, you would say, it actually only brought deeper frustration and an addiction that has wrecked my life. So let's just put a pin in it right here, and let's pick this up tomorrow. But perhaps we could begin this day by praying, "Father, I surrender my appetites to you today. I will find deep satisfaction in walking with you." I'll see you back tomorrow. Have a great day.